Muy buenos días de nuevo para todos, para todas. Gracias por conectarse a este espacio. Vamos a arrancar entonces esta charla informativa dándole la palabra al profesor Gilvan Miller de Oliveira. Él es líder de la Cátedra UNESCO de Políticas Lingüísticas para el Multilingüismo y es docente de la Universidad Federal de Santa Catalina. Y con el saludo del profe Gilvan, vamos a iniciar esta conversación. Profesor, bienvenido.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Good morning for everyone. I will try to share my slides. Please give me opportunity to share my slides first. It's a pleasure to be here with you in the beginning of our International Diploma on Language Policies for Multilingualism. Welcome, everyone. Sejam muito bem-vindos. Eu peço que remova o PowerPoint, por favor. Vou fazer uma breve apresentação da Cátedra UNESCO, que está na base dessa cooperação entre a Universidade de Antioquia, em Medellín, Colômbia, e a Universidade Federal de Santa Catarina, que deu origem a este diplomado. A Cátedra UNESCO em Políticas Linguísticas para o Multilinguismo é uma rede internacional de universidades. The UNESCO Chair on Language Policies for Multilingualism is a network of 35 universities in 17 different countries, universities that use 11 different languages for teaching, researching, and working together. Essa rede é formada por 35 universidades nos 4 continentes, em 17 países diferentes e utilizando 11 línguas para a sua cooperação, a pesquisa e a sua comunicação. Nestes continentes temos universidades da América do Norte, do México, da República Dominicana, na América do Sul, instituições da Colômbia, do Chile, da Argentina e do Brasil. Na África, temos parceiros da África do Sul, Angola, Nigéria e Burkina Faso. Na Ásia, contamos com universidades de Timor-Leste, Indonésia, Índia e China. Na Europa, universidades da Rússia, Alemanha, França, Espanha e Islândia. E a cátedra existe desde 2018. We are in operation since 2018. Now we are going to start our third 4 years term. And the diploma is a collaborative project that involves many of these universities from the point of view of faculty and from the point of view of students that will participate with us. The Federal University of Santa Catarina is in Florianópolis, in South Brazil. It's the headquarters of the UNESCO Chair. And we follow 7 or 8 different axes of research. Atuamos com 8 diferentes eixos de pesquisa, connecting multilingualism and important subjects for the societies, like internationalization, intercultural mediation, teaching of languages, translation and accessibility, language economy and language rights, the new technologies of information and communication, multilingualism, borders, diasporas, and migration, and the last axis connecting literature and multilingualism. The UNESCO chair is connected to one very important document of UNESCO, are the recommendations for the promotion and use of multilingualism and universal access to cyberspace. So multilingualism in the cyberspace is a special topic of our course, and we are going to have it explicitly worked in one of our sections. So I thank you very much for this short presentation, and I give the word back for the beginning of the presentation of the content of our course. Muito obrigado.
Profesor Gilban, muchísimas gracias. Aprovecho para tomar la palabra un momento para recordarles que esta reunión está siendo grabada para poder tener el registro de toda la conversación. Muchísimas gracias. Profe Marta, bienvenida.
Andrea, gracias. Bonjour tout le monde, good morning, buenos días, bon dia. We are very happy to see you all here, and we are going to try to make the most of this hour because I know we are all very busy. So you have a general idea of, or even a more precise idea of the diploma program, and we'll be trying to answer questions through the chat. So please write your questions in the chat. We would also like to know from which country you come and the languages you speak. So if you want to write them in the chat, some students that are collaborating with us, we're going to collect that information. And I think it's going to be very interesting for all of us. So the diploma, Guadita, we can start presenting, Loanda. So first of all, yes, before we would like to thank all the people who have been working on this, on the organization of this program, Professor Gilban Müller de Oliveira, Jaime Usma, the director of our School of Languages, Luanda Cito, who is the person in charge of Portuguese at the School of Languages, Janet Ortiz and Nora Bella, and all the group of Red Polidiversa, Edison Silva, and the people who are helping with all the technique support. Okay, so we are going to do to give you a general information, then some revision of the program, the criteria for the selection of the 200 participants, and then we'll give place for some questions. Okay, so I'm going to read in English. You can read in Spanish. If you, as I say, if you have any questions, we can try to answer in any other language that you may be comfortable to use. So this diploma explores language policies and multilingualism as paths to diversity, inclusion, and social justice in global context. This idea arose from the collaboration Universidad de Antioquia. As you see, there is already one typing mistake. It's a collaboration of Universidad de Antioquia and the UNESCO chair in language policies for multilingualism, directed by Professor Gilban Müller de Oliveira from Universidade Federal de Santa Catarina in Brazil, and Red Polidiversa in Colombia, which is the network of language policies for diversity. Thank you, Luanda. Thank you. So we will be studying 96 hours online mode, synchronous and asynchronous, and we're going to combine open lectures, thematic presentations, collaborative work, and personalized advising. The OMIP methodological approach, which maybe if Gilban is willing to expand on that afterwards, which means online, multilingual, multidisciplinary. Would you like to expand on it now, Gilban?
Thanks, Marta. In fact, this methodology is one of the most important topics of our course, in that it makes possible that we use 4 languages for teaching and not only one language. So the course is taught as an online course, multilingual course with 4 languages, multidisciplinary, interinstitutional in the sense that professors, faculty are from very different universities, and pluricontinental, because it's taught in terms of time, so that people from Asia, Africa, Europe, Oceania, and in the Americas can participate. That's the idea, to create a methodology that makes possible the internationalization of universities but not based only in one language. Baseado no multilinguismo e na possibilidade de ter parceiros de várias universidades participando ao mesmo tempo. Obrigado, Marta.
Obrigada, Gilvan. Luanda, obrigada. We can continue with the next.
Profe, aprovecho el espacio también para recordarles que en el chat pueden poner sus preguntas y van a tener respuesta también por ese medio.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Andrea. Yes, Andrea is reminding everybody that you can write your questions or doubts in the chat. Obrigada, Luanda. So this proposal is, we are going to select 200 participants from around the world who are interested in developing skills for the formulation, implementation, and evaluation of public, institutional, or community policies that recognize languages as rights, social practices, and tools for cultural transformation. So what are the objectives of this program? To build an academic community capable of debating, formulating, and applying language policies that recognize multilingualism as a tool for inclusion and social transformation. Participants will be able to critically analyze debates on multilingualism, formulate proposals for inclusive language policies, and evaluate intercultural educational experiences that promote linguistic diversity and equitable access to knowledge. So the program is divided into parts, Module 1 and Module 2. So we're not going to do all the details, but Module 1 is called Multilingualism, a Strategic Dimension in Language Policy Formulation. And so what is multilingualism? How does it relate to language policies? And what discussions are currently taking place? So this module offers an introduction to these fundamental concepts, multilingualism, language policies, and accessibility from a critical and contemporary perspective through an opening keynote lecture that is going to be given by Professor Gilvan Miller de Oliveira and Jaime Usma. These concepts will be presented and we will have 6 thematic presentations that will enable participants to analyze various sociolinguistic realities and issues. In addition, a broad overview of linguistic boundaries and the role of language policies in the construction of scenarios of social justice will be provided, we hope, we expect. Thank you, Luanda. Obrigada, Luanda. Module 2, the second part, so this first module is 7 sessions, and Module 2, it's called Language Policies for Multilingualism in Practice. It's going to be shorter, it's the last 3 sessions. So the idea is to try to see how do different contemporary experiences help us engage in dialogue with others to value and promote multilingualism and interculturalism. In this module, the objective is to guide discussions on language policies, multilingualism, and accessibility for the context of training and public policies, with a view to their implementation in broader legal, educational, and social settings. To address this topic, then I just have said there will be 3 sessions which will discuss experiences and cases to interpret and apply the basic concepts introduced in the first module. Okay, so these are the titles of every session. So the first one, multilingualism, plurilingualism, and language policies, key concepts, implications, and challenges. Number 2, minoritized languages and linguistic inequality, multilingualism and geopolitics, language economy, multilingualism and the web, multilingualism, translation, interpretation, and access to education and information, language rights, language policies, and multilingualism. I'm going to read it in Spanish. So, el número 1, en la primera sesión, que es la introductoria, multilingüismo, plurilingüismo y políticas lingüísticas, los conceptos claves, las implicaciones y los desafíos. La segunda sesión, las lenguas minorizadas y la desigualdad lingüística. La tercera sección, geopolíticas y multilingüismo. La cuarta, economía lingüística. La quinta, el multilingüismo y la web. La sexta, multilingüismo, traducción, interpretación y acceso a la educación y a la información. Y la séptima, derechos lingüísticos, políticas lingüísticas y multilingüismo. So we go to the second module. So the second module is language policies for multilingualism in practice. How do different contemporary experiences help us engage in dialogue with others to value and foster multilingualism and interculturality? So there we have two sessions and one advisory session, no? Multilingualism, diversity and interculturality, language policy, education from different disciplines. And number 9, multilingualism, diversity and interculturality, experiences of access to education. And number 10, that is the advisory sessions, we will be in contact with small groups of students for the support for the final grade, ¿no? La pregunta que guía este módulo 2 es cómo las diferentes experiencias contemporáneas nos permiten comprometernos en diálogo con otros y valorar y promover el multilingüismo y la interculturalidad. Entonces, por eso los tópicos allí son multilingüismo, diversidad e interculturalidad, política lingüística y educación desde diferentes disciplinas. Y el último módulo, multilingüismo, diversidad e interculturalidad, las experiencias de acceso a la educación. Obrigada, Luanda. Okay, for the evaluation, because this is something of interest for everybody. First of all, you have to participate in the synchronous meetings, which are 32 hours every Friday from 8 to 11. There will be readings of the material indicated for each session, so you are responsible for these readings. Participation in the activities assigned each week. For every session, there will be a forum and a questionnaire hosted in Moodle. And the final evaluation to be sent through Moodle platform. So I hope you are familiar with this platform in that. If not, we are going to give some guide for this use. So the final evaluation, although it will be more detailed all along the diploma, but we expect to have a critical essay for participants between 2,000 and 2,500 words. So as you see, it's not a very long essay, in which participants analyze debates on multilingualism and formulate proposals for inclusive language policies that seek to promote linguistic diversity and equitable access to knowledge. The deadline for handing in this critical essay is February the 5th in 2026. So we are going to end the course in December, but you will have until February to write the essay. Thank you, Luanda. Obrigada, Luanda. We can go to the next one. Okay, so workload, as we have said at the beginning, is 6 hours in total, 32 hours as synchronous meetings, and 64 of independent work, meaning that for every hour of synchronous meetings, participants should be responsible for 2 hours of independent study. Languages of interaction will be English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese, mainly. The synchronous meetings will feature presentations by guest lecturers and discussions with participants. That is why it's so important that you are there in order to to have some dialogue, no? But asynchronous dialogues will also take place, and this will be through forums and activities on the platform. So we will try to use methodologies that promote a multilingual environment as intercomprehension, interpretation, translation, peer support, online tools, among others. So what is expected of participants? First of all, you have to be willing to participate in a multilingual environment. That's because, as you see, there will be various languages involved. Also, to be willing to interact through Moodle, even if you don't handle Moodle very well at this moment, it is not difficult to handle, and to attend the 3 hours of synchronous meetings, and finally, to take responsibility for rigorously preparing the final work. This is what is expected from participants. Thank you, Luanda. Gracias, Luandita. Okay, so how are we going to work on the selection process? Because maybe there will be much more than 200 people who are registering or pre-registering for the diploma. So based on the information collected through those Google forms that you have been filling in, the following selection criteria will be applied: training profile, relevance of the motivation that you presented, professional performance, and also geographic and linguistic balance. No? We would like that the countries should have visibility in a quite balanced way. So the final list of the 200 participants selected will be notified on October the 9th. A Zoom link will be sent after receiving confirmation of receipt, the confirmation that you will send, and your commitment to the diploma. The pre-registration date goes until October the 8th, and the final list of registrants will be announced on October the 10th, and then you will have, those who are selected will have a Zoom link to start participating in the program. Obrigada, Luanda. Próxima. Okay, so maybe I can, if I have the time, Luanda, Luanda, ¿va a utilizar o Excel?
Sim, pode ser, Marta.
Ok, obrigada. So, vou tentar de apresentar para vocês aqui. I'm not going to read every paragraph, but I'm going to give you the titles of, sí, este es en portugués, entonces multilingüismo, every session, every module has one guiding question, as you saw. Here we have pregunta orientadora, o qué o multilingüismo, cuál es su relación con las políticas lingüísticas y qué discusiones son realizadas actualmente. And there the themes and the topics treated are: first session, multilingüismo, plurilingüismo y políticas lingüísticas. Session number 2, lenguas minorizadas y desigualdad lingüística. Número 3, multilingüismo y geopolítica. 4, economía das línguas. 5, multilingüismo e a web. 6, multilingüismo, tradução, interpretação e acesso à educação e à informação. Na segunda parte, temos direitos linguísticos, políticas lingüísticas e multilingüismo. Número 8, multilingüismo, diversidade e interculturalidade, formação em políticas lingüísticas, que ficou em espanhol. Número 9, multilingüismo, diversidade e interculturalidade, experiências de acesso à educação. Eu vou apresentar aqui, temos também em francês a segunda parte, multilingüismo, multilinguismo, diversité et interculturalité. Le numéro 8, multilinguismo, diversité et interculturalité aussi. Mais peut-être je vais le montrer en espagnol. En espagnol, so we have, tenemos las sesiones de la primera parte. La pregunta guía es: ¿qué es el multilingüismo? ¿Cuál es su relación con las políticas lingüísticas? ¿Y qué discusiones se plantean actualmente? Sí, on the right, you can see the guest professors who are going to participate in every session. There are people from different parts of the world, and from Colombia and Brazil especially, of course. And this is in the second part, which is in November, that we have people, especially from Red Polidiversa, and then we have some colleagues from sign language, and then, as we said, we will have the sessions with the group of small group of participants, with the professor who is orienting the final work. No sé si I think we can open the one that you think there is something else to be said now. We can open the panel for the questions, the microphones or the chat. Gilvan?
Muito obrigado, Marta. Eu gostaria de dizer, então, que sejam todos e todas muito bem-vindas. Contamos aqui com um corpo docente de primeira linha, pessoas que fazem pesquisa profissional nas suas respectivas áreas, pesquisadores reconhecidos internacionalmente, dos 4 continentes, né? All faculty in the course are recognized researchers in their respective area. That's the reason why they were invited. So we are going to have the privilege to interact with them, to have direct opportunities to formulate questions in any of the 4 languages we feel comfortable to ask questions. E, portanto, acho que vamos ter ótimos encontros para discutir um tópico que é de alta relevância na política mundial e para sociedades mundiais hoje, que é a questão do multilinguismo. Aguardemos, então, as perguntas e podemos passar às suas respostas. Obrigado, Marta.
Thank you very much, Ivan. The first question is the link for the registration. Andrea, tal vez nos puedes ayudar poniendo en el chat el enlace del registro, que lo hemos promovido, pero vamos a ponerlo. We're going to put it in the chat, the link to the registration, okay? Thank you.
Buenos días. Hay algunas preguntas en el chat sobre el proceso de selección. Aunque ya hablaste, Marta, creo que puedes volver a hablar. Y en general son perguntas em português e espanhol. Então, sobre o horário, é 8 a 11, horário de onde, né? Então, da Colômbia. Se há algum processo depois da pré-inscrição, outra das perguntas. E quais são os requisitos para fazer o diplomado? Si quieres,
Sí.
puedes contestar en español.
Como que, si quieren, sí, bueno, todo esto, si ahorita que Andrea nos vaya a enviar el enlace, está todo explicado ahí, pero lo podemos recordar. Sí, es para posgrado, que fue otra de las preguntas que veo en el chat, es para formación de posgrado. Se necesita que se tenga por lo menos un pregrado. Y sí, ¿qué más dice aquí? Sí, la selección, como explicamos allí, no sé cuántas personas vamos a tener, pero la idea es empezar a seleccionar, evidentemente, por el interés que tengan en el multilingüismo o alguna experiencia mínima que se tenga en esto, por la motivación y también por la diversidad de países. Yo no sé si Gilvan quiere comentar un poquito de eso, lo que es el balance geográfico y de lenguas.
Yes, thanks, Marta. The idea is to have so many countries participating as possible. People from different origins that speak different languages, that have different experiences with multilingualism is the most valuable criterion for our group of students. So we are trying to include students from the very different countries. And so if there are very many students from one country, we are going to prefer to have students from countries that are less represented. That is the balance Marta was speaking about. O balanço que a Marta se referia é que vamos tentar incluir o máximo de países para ter estudantes da maior quantidade de contextos multilingües, falantes das mais diversas línguas do mundo, e assim colher na discussão experiências muito ricas que vão complementar a fala dos professores e dar substância ao nosso curso.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gilban. One of the questions in the chat is if the final essay is individual. For the time being, we have thought yes. Yeah, but we can discuss that along the program. The other question was if the diploma will be recorded. We will record only the talks of the professors. We won't we have the course divided in first, the presentation of the professors, that will be recorded. And then the microphone will be open for questions and conversation with the participants. This part will not be recorded for author rights and everything we have discussed at the university. But the recorded sessions won't be available immediately, but we're going to ask the right to professors to use it later to leave, to propose a new course that will be the same professors. Gilban, you want to make clear that?
Yes, that means we have this as the first version of our course, interactive one, and after we are going to have a MOOC. It means a course that can be used for a long time. People can join the course and can hear the conferences, but cannot interact with it anymore. So you don't have to be afraid. The records of the speeches will be available, but not immediately.
Okay. Yes, there is another question. There is no cost. The Diplomado has no cost for you, for the participants. What kind of certificate will be issued? Well, there will be a certificate issued by Universidad de Antioquia within the frame of the UNESCO chair in political linguistics for multilingualism and of this diploma, Universidad Federal de Santa Catarina, no? Luanda, have you seen it? Have you seen any more questions? I'm going to have a look at the chat.
Estou revisando, estou respondendo alguns também no chat.
Okay.
Limite de estudante. Você tem uma idade limite para ser estudante. Essa sim está em inglês. What is the age limit for students?
Idade limite, no.
No.
We haven't thought of that. No.
Também podemos usar a idade como um parabalance, incluso. No hay un límite.
Well, we hadn't thought of that, no? It's a question that, no.
Just one word about the time of the course. So it will be from 8 to 11 Colombian time.
Yeah,
Please
thank you.
Pay attention
yes.
on this question. This question is very important. Yeah. We try to establish a slot of times so that people from all around the world can participate. It begins very early for Mexicans and Central American colleagues. It would be from 7 to 10 Mexican time, to 8 to 11 Colombian time, 10 to 1 p.m. Brazilian time, and then you can calculate to the other countries, the African colleagues, the European colleagues, the Asian colleagues. It will be from 10 to 10 in the night till 1 in the dawn to the colleagues from East Timor, for example. So we have this span of time trying to include all possible colleagues from the different continents. Please pay attention on the time from the place where you are seeing the course.
Yeah, maybe Gilban, you can say Indian time, because this is very important. We have some
Indian
students from
time,
English
it will be
usually.
from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. Indian time.
Okay. Yeah, I have in mind, for example, Ivory Coast, because Yeo is participating from there, and it's going to be from 1 to 8 hours
4.
here, 1 hour to 1 to 4. Okay. And so on.
PM.
So yes, thank you very much, Gilvan. This is something you have to pay a lot of attention, because we are not able to put all the schedules, all the timetables in the diffusion of the program. There is another question here that I want to ask is, if the registration is individual or if institutions could register. I think it's individual, Gilvan, isn't it?
Yes.
It's individual. It's individual. Thank you.
But of course, you can have more than one representative of each institution. Several persons from the same institution can
participate.
Apply.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, there is a question that is important here, and it is possible to participate in the diploma without being in the synchronic hours. I think not. No, Gilvan, I think that. No, the 3 hours on Friday are very much necessary, are obligatory.
Marta,
So
si quieres repetir esta respuesta, porque hay varias preguntas iguales en español y portugués. Si puedes repetir en portugués o en español, por favor. Sí, si pueden estar, si pueden, tienen clase a la hora, pero pueden estar, si van a grabar las sesiones. Eso me parece importante.
Ok, sí, Gilvan ya lo acabó de decir, ¿no? Las sesiones son de los viernes, las 3 horas sincrónicas son realmente obligatorias para que podamos estar ahí, conocerlos, además, ¿cierto? Es muy importante, vamos a estar en línea, si por lo menos no estamos ahí, es bastante difícil poder hacer los seguimientos y que el diplomado sea eficaz y que tengamos realmente resultados de aprendizaje significativos, ¿no?
Bueno, hay una pregunta bastante interesante sobre el tema del ensayo final. Si el tema para el ensayo final será proporcionado por el diploma ou podemos formular temas de maneira individual. Ou seja, os temas são temas já do diploma ou podem trazer temas prévios de perguntas ou questões para o ensaio final.
A ideia é que os alunos possam trazer temas, possam propor temas para o ensaio final, né? Eles mandarão o tema será pré-aprovado, em seguida eles podem desenvolver o ensaio. Então, o aluno tem liberdade de propor o seu tema para o ensaio final. The student has the liberty to propose the topic for the final essay. He or she sends first the topic, it will be approved by the faculty, and then he will develop the essay he wants or she wants.
Thank you very much, Gilvan. Obrigada. No consigo decir bom dia a todo mundo, mas quero saudar Paula do Nascimento, que está aí, como ela é da UFSC, Gilvan. Ela estudou tradução também na UFSC. Talvez conhece Gilvan, não, Paula?
Sim, eu até apresentei um projeto e eu pretendo construir, participar das aulas para poder me aprofundar no multilinguismo. Sim. Bom dia, professor Gilvan.
Bom dia.
Bom dia, Paula. Muito, muito legal de te ver aqui.
Te rever, Marta.
Okay. If there are more questions. So, of course, the whole program will be presented to you the very first day of the course. You have seen the lines. You have seen the general lines of the programs in all the diffusion we have been doing. And even to those who are very much interested, you can write to the mail of the diploma. Shall I write it here? Do you have the mail of the diploma at hand? We can write the mail of the diploma, and we can send you the program, so you can decide if you're going, if you want to commit with this diplomado. Okay, yeah, there I have we have the diploma mail, so you can write to us.
Revisando aqui. Quando começam as aulas sincrônicas? Iniciamos
October
no
the
dia
10th.
10. Exato.
October the 10th.
Iniciamos
No?
no dia 10 de outubro. Sou estudante de graduação. Posso realizar o diplomado? Felizmente não. Felizmente não.
É um diploma de pós-graduação, mas...
Ah, isso talvez você, Marta e Gilvão, possam explicar o tema porque eu tinha uma pergunta sobre o que valeria o certificado do diplomado. Então, em termos da gestão, para que isso valha créditos.
Okay, it is also in the documents that we have distributed. Our both universities, Universidad de Antioquia and UFSC, are consulting the post-graduation committee, so the diploma can have an equivalence and could be homologated to one of the disciplines in the post-graduation program. And in Universidad de Antioquia, we are trying to do this with the Master in Translation and even in the Master of Languages. No, we're going to deal with that. We're dealing with that actually, and Gilban in UFSC also, no?
Sim, para os brasileiros, no caso, a ideia é que o diplomado valha como uma disciplina num programa de pós-graduação em nível de mestrado ou de doutorado, equivale normalmente às disciplinas de tópicos especiais. No caso da UFSC, tópicos especiais em tradução, ou no programa de linguística, tópicos especiais em política linguística. Cada país terá um sistema de reconhecimento, no entanto, o diploma oficial atribuirá créditos e caberá ao estudante, verificar no seu país qual é a política de atribuição de valor aos créditos obtidos numa universidade estrangeira. Isso dependerá dos vários contextos universitários de cada país, né? Each country has a different recognition system, so the course will offer 4 credits, and then people see how to recognize these credits in their own system.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, excuse me. Just to complement this, Luanda, voy a complementar eso, Luanda. Okay? See, so as Gilban said, every country has different systems for recognition. We know that very well. How is it when you have diplomas from France going to Brazil and so on? So the system in which the diploma is our university system issues a diploma, a certificate, but according to the needs of every of you universities, you can write to us at the end of the diploma and say what are the requirements in your university, and we can issue a certificate with more specification if you need it. Luanda, obrigada.
Não, imagina. Há 3 perguntas que queria retomar do chat. Uma delas é sobre as datas dos encontros, que talvez se possa projetar o Excel outra vez, Marta, si quieres, con las fechas de cada encuentro. Otra pregunta que ya está respondida, pero como repitieron tantas veces, es si requieren un vínculo institucional para participar del diplomado. Y la tercera es sobre las lenguas, que si hay poco nivel de inglés, igual podrían participar cursos. Creo que ya hablamos un poco, pero quizá pueden hablar un poquito más.
Sim, quanto ao nível de inglês, não é preciso ter um grande nível de inglês, porque o curso será oferecido, haverá aulas em espanhol, em português, em francês, em inglês. Haverá estratégias em que o professor fala inglês, mas o PowerPoint está em espanhol, ou em português, ou em francês, ou em duas línguas. Então, teremos constantemente estratégias de multilinguismo em ação, justamente para acolher pessoas que têm níveis diferenciados em cada uma das 4 línguas. Essa é a ideia do curso. Então, é possível, inclusive, que um aluno não fale inglês e possa participar do curso, porque haverá aulas em espanhol, em português, em francês, haverá a possibilidade de ler os textos dados pelos professores nas diferentes línguas. The idea is that proficiency in one of these languages is not the most important. The most important is the openness to hear and to participate in the 4 languages that will be in the offering: Portuguese, Spanish, French, and English. Faculty open the possibility that the students read in 3 different languages, so you can choose the texts you want to read in the language you can better. And so there will be translation and interpretation possibilities too inside these strategies for multilingualism, so that everyone from this environment where the 4 languages are university languages, there will be the possibility to participate. So don't worry if you don't have a proficiency level in one of these languages that is not exceptional. Okay?
Thank you very much, Gilban. Yes, the idea is that that's what we need to know. Which languages do you speak, no? And which are the languages in which you feel more comfortable. There are more questions. Again, I'm going to repeat the dates that I just wrote them in the chat. We begin the 10th of October, on October the 10th, every Friday, from 8 to 11 Colombian time until the 5th of December, also Friday, from 8 to 11. The next week after the 5th of December, it's the week that professors will be meeting with a small group of students for the final details for the essay. That's it. Andrea, una pregunta para Andrea, perdón. Preguntan en el chat que si el formulario se puede editar. El formulario Google por el cual se inscriben, que si se puede editar. Yo diría que no,
Para
¿verdad?
cambiar respuestas, profe.
Ajá. Me imagino que es para eso. Pero hay una caja de observaciones, ¿verdad?
Sí, yo creo que no se puede, no creo que no se puede hacer revisión de las preguntas.
Okay, yes, for the form, the Google form, well, you cannot change it, you know, but if you need to write to have an observation or something like that, you can do it, I think, in the same form, or you can write to the email that I wrote, yes, Diplomado PLM, Políticas Lingüísticas para Multilingüismo, .id at udea.edu.co. I wrote it. I can write it again if you feel you need it. But there are more questions. Yeah, there are questions that are so important, Gilban, because one of the items that we wrote when we said what are we expecting from the participants is a commitment with the diploma, no? So if you know that you are not going to be able to participate in 100% of the meetings, I think you can decide, because of course we have to be flexible, no? If somebody cannot be one day, but if you lose one day, if you miss one day, you miss 3 hours plus all the implications that it has. So the idea is that we can program ourselves from now on and see, okay, every Friday I'm going to organize these 3 hours for this diplomado, which I think is going to be very fruitful, very useful. And that's why we said we need commitment from those people who are registering there, and we cannot be open to everybody. So if you don't have a commitment, you are avoiding that somebody else with commitment takes the diploma. I don't know if Gilban wants to say something about that.
No, it's enough, Marta. That's the point.
Thank you.
Profe, aprovecho también el espacio para enviarles por el chat una encuesta sobre las lenguas que hablan para poder tener también una idea de cómo está la población que está compartiendo esta conversación. Muchísimas gracias, profesor Gilban, muchísimas gracias, profesora Marta, por este espacio. No sé si de pronto hay alguna pregunta adicional ya para que cerremos también.
Andrea, I'm going to translate. I'm going to translate who you just said. You put a form in the chat about the languages? Okay, yes. There is a form in the chat that to inquire about the languages you feel comfortable with. The last question, thank you, Olguita, is when will be the result of the selection? Pre-registration will be until the 8th of October. Results will be the 9th. And beginning of the diploma will be the 10th. So it's going to be like that. So we can benefit from this semester because it's already October, no? So it is important that we keep the dates, no, as much as possible. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So as I say again, the dates. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes, you have a site, and in this site, thank you very much, Luanda, that is in the chat. You will have all the information, but I'm going to repeat here. No? Yes, you have the pre-inscription date that is in the form until the 8th of October. The 9th, we will be contacting those who were selected, and on the 10th, we're going to begin. Yes. And then we are going to go on every Friday from 8 to 11 Colombian time. Every Friday until the 5th of December. And then you will have until the 5th of February to hand in your final essay. So we will finish in December, and you will have, well, some days of your vacations probably, December and January. And in February, we will have your final essays. So we will be able to give you the final certificate in the month of March, I would say, no?
Marta, solo agregaría que ahí en la página de internet ustedes podrán encontrar la grabación del encuentro de hoy hasta la próxima, pues hasta lunes. Então podem encontrar a gravação de hoje na página, no site que está nos comentários, no chat, porque muitas pessoas chegaram depois. Então, hay muchas personas que dijeron que llegaron al final, que perdieron información, entonces pueden volver a ver la presentación con la grabación.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, Luanda. So you can have a look at the presentation, which is recorded. And still, if you have any questions, there is a Gmail address you can write to us.
Pusimos en el chat el correo para que lo tengan presente y pusimos también la página donde va a quedar guardada la grabación y donde está la información general del diplomado.
Okay, so before we close, have a look at the chat. You have the link where the recording will be, and again, the dates and the mail, no? The mail, you repeat the mail, okay? Yes, and all the dates. In any case, please feel free to write to us. We will be checking this mail of the diploma so we can solve all the questions that you have. And maybe I think we have to finish. We have said until 9, and I know everybody is very busy with other activities. Gilban, Luanda, shall we finish? Debemos terminar, ¿no, Luanda?
Sim.
Preciso,
Okay.
e não há mais novas perguntas no chat
No.
também. Muito bem.
Thank you
Muy
very
bien.
much. Muito
Muy bien,
obrigada.
muchas gracias, Marta.
Obrigada.
Obrigada,
Muchas gracias,
Daniel.
Wanda.
Muito obrigada também à equipe e aos participantes. Gracias.
Sí, muy obrigada a todos, muy
Muchas
obrigada.
Gracias,
gracias,
Chao, chao,
Tía. Gracias al equipo.
Chao.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
chao. Gilvan, una pregunta que no alcanzamos a resolver, la acabo de leer, pero que creo que es evidente que si el trabajo final se tiene que hacer en una lengua, pienso que es precisamente libertad, ¿no es cierto? De que
Sí,
escriban el ensayo, pero lo responderemos
sí, sí. Pueden elegir la
a los
lengua
que...
para el
Claro,
ensayo.
claro, porque también hay que elegir la lengua para elegir los lectores de ese trabajo, ¿cierto?
Claro, sí.
Sí,
Y
pero vamos a...
eso todo ya podemos saber con anticipación.
Sí,
Quiere
tenemos que
decir,
hacer un documentico con todo eso, sí,
en algún momento le vamos a pedir el tópico. El tópico será preaprobado por los docentes, entonces, o sea,
claro.
antes del final ya sabremos cuáles serán los tópicos
Y la lengua, ¿cierto?
y en
Y
qué
la lengua,
lengua el ensayo estará. Entonces, ya
ok,
vamos a poder crear los comités
sí,
de evaluación de los ensayos.
sí, ok,
Muy
perfecto,
bien.
muchísimas
Hablamos
gracias.
por nuestra lista, entonces. Ya voy.
Muchas
Gracias,
gracias,
Marta.
Gilvan, qué bueno
Luanda.
verte. Bueno, Luanda, obrigada, Luanda. Catalina,
Bye bye,
conclude.
bye bye.
Bye bye, thank you very much, merci beaucoup.
Tchau, tchau.
Tchau.
Agostinho Amute Lourenço, de Benguela, Angola.
Ah, Agostino, você fala francês? Português?
Eu falo português, sou de Angola,
Aham,
mas
aham,
também falo inglês porque eu tenho uma licenciatura e um mestrado em língua inglesa aqui no ICED de Benguela, fiz a licenciatura e o mestrado em linguística e literatura inglesa pela Faculdade de Letras, atualmente é Faculdade de Humanidades, da Universidade Agostinho Neto, daqui de Angola, Luanda, a
aham, ok.
capital. E pronto. E atualmente sou estudante do Dr. Milan Pu, do
Uhum.
doutoramento, aqui do ICED do Sumbe, uma outra província próxima de Benguela. Estou a fazer ciência da educação, na especialidade de metodologias do ensino primário, mas o eixo de pesquisa é língua portuguesa e línguas angolanas.
Aham,
É numa
ok.
cooperação, num programa financiado pela UdeA, France Express, France Expert e outras entidades, mas que a nossa faculdade tem cooperação com algumas universidades brasileiras, como a Universidade do Rio Grande do Norte, a Universidade da Bahia, Universidade Federal da Bahia, a Universidade de Triângulo Mineiro. E pronto, tenho como orientador o professor Dr. Milan Pu, da Universidade Federal da Bahia. É verdade. Então, para
Ok.
mim, é muito interessante fazer parte deste curso. Tanto mais que foi mesmo o professor Milan que enviou-me um link e procurou saber se eu estava interessado. E, obviamente, que eu estou interessado, porque eu sou docente da licenciatura, aqui do ICED do Sumbe, Angola, ICED é Instituto Superior de Ciência da Educação. E temos um departamento de letras, onde damos a graduação, ou licenciatura em língua portuguesa e língua inglesa, por enquanto. E eu leciono algumas disciplinas, como psicolinguística, metodologia do ensino de língua inglesa, linguística banto, sociolinguística e psicolinguística. Então, para mim é muito interessante fazer este curso, porque eu acho que vai agregar muito conhecimento sobre políticas linguísticas, multilingüismo e não só, para poder contribuir ainda mais para a questão das políticas linguísticas aqui no nosso país, em Angola. Temos o português como língua oficial, mas ainda temos o problema de outras línguas nacionais, não é? Línguas locais ou nacionais, como o Umbundo, da qual eu sou falante e faço parte deste grupo etnolinguístico.
Agostinho, vamos estar muito contentes de ter você.
Zovimbundo.
Ok.
Temos uma diversidade de línguas que são, ou seja, são mais utilizadas nas comunidades e não propriamente nas instituições públicas ou privadas, né? Escolas, hospitais e tal, tribunal. Pronto,
Ok.
Então é muito interessante fazer esse curso.
Ok, Agostinho, vamos estar muito felizes de ter você. Então, vou dizer obrigada, porque temos que terminar já. Até depois, não? Vamos ver-nos muito pronto. Ok.
Okay.
Obrigada.
Thank you so
Obrigada a
much.
todos.
Have a nice
Ok.
day. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.